What was the final tally?
Okay, let me find it here. It was 4-3.
Oh. All right, let's go through it here in Wenz World. A moment of brief, and I mean very brief, acknowledgement for the Booch, the wrestling encyclopedia, the guy who makes the show really go. Let's be honest. I mean, he's the brains, I'm the brawn. We maybe need to find a wild card, Booch.
Maybe.
Yeah, a little teaser action there. But here we are, the male soap opera moment, season 6, I believe, officially about to be underway once WrestleMania concludes, which is coming up quick, Booch. We are about to recap Elimination Chamber, which seems like forever ago. And folks, it's my apology for being busy, right? But is it really something we want to spend too much time talking about? After all, I didn't win. So I don't think there's that much interest in people or for or by people to hear about, the outcome.
People definitely want to hear the outcome. They want to see the king in gold, dripping in gold. Not only did I go to Wenz World and procure the prediction title from the island of obscurity and bring it back to the island of relevancy, but I also defeated everybody in the group. One wild card in particular who 100% sided with the gentleman to my left, if you're watching this video, and had to eat a big slice of humble pie when I procured this piece of gold as well. So I am not only the prediction champion, I am once again the king in gold.
I just don't understand how I was champion for about 3 months and never got to wear the belt. I don't understand how this works. Do I have to imagine having a belt, or can you just make the drive over here since, I'm the champ? So I say once I win it back at Mania, which I will, Booch, let's be honest. This, your clock is right once a day. This thing ain't coming back twice for you. And WrestleMania is going to be a great day for me. You will probably be the April Fool, and I'm ready for that. You know? So here we are, a few weeks before the extravaganza in Hollywood. I think I hurt my throat when I did extravaganza. Like I did you see that? I think that's not right.
Yeah, a little stretch there.
It's not optimal. I'm like one of those people that smoked for 80 years and has that thing on their thing. It's terrible. But here we are, and Booch, there's so much that's developed since Elimination Chamber. So let's go through, let's talk about that. But I really, really have an axe to grind with John Cena right now. I have an axe to grind with the new appointed prince of WWE, and I think we all know who that is. His name rhymes with Toads. His last name rhymes with Podes, and his first name rhymes with Musty. Okay, Musty Podes.
Okay.
I'm very upset, Booch, and I'm not going to give it all away, but if you haven't been paying attention, that's probably, we're going to talk about one of the Rhodes sons, the stepson of the late and great Dusty Rhodes. Exactly. Who has a room at the Georgia Aquarium. If you aren't familiar, I stumbled upon it. It's a sensory room, right, for people who need a break from the noise, and it was donated by the Rhodes family.
Really?
In Dusty's honor, right?
Yeah.
So
I didn't know that.
Super cool. Yeah, check it out next time you're there. But I digress. That's what we do in Wenz World. It's Friday, ladies and gentlemen. It's after hours here, so we're enjoying ourselves, right? We're not gonna get too serious. I may get upset about the outcome of Elimination Chamber as we go through match by match. But I'm excited to talk about Elimination Chamber, but also what's happened in WWE since Elimination Chamber as we approach WrestleMania in Hollywood without The Rock. It's terrible.
Without The
Rock, and featuring John Cena's bald spot. Booch, let's go back to Elimination Chamber. Let's start, I guess, from the first match that we both watched together, just in separate places. And that was the women's match.
Yes.
And I was right that I started off the night in style, right? My lead horse won, Asuka, and
oh God.
and you know what? I'm okay. I was okay with the outcome. I had a feeling it was going to happen. They've been pushing her up to that point. I'm excited to see what happens at Mania. Of course, we could get to that if we have time. But she beat your horse in Carmella.
Yeah, it was down to the two of us. And here's the thing about making these picks that makes it exciting. It was literally down to you and me. The last two standing in that ring. And I honestly thought Carmella was going to get this. There were two people. Here's the thing. I would have been, there's only two people in this entire match that I did not want to see win. And that was Asuka, of course, and Liv Morgan. If it had been anybody else that won, even if I didn't get the point, I would have been satisfied with what we're going to see at WrestleMania. Now, the only satisfaction I'm going to get is making a trip to the bathroom. That's all I'm getting out of this. And obviously we'll get into more of that when we talk WrestleMania, but I'm just going to say this was a giant buzzkill for the night because and for reasons I'll get into when we talk WrestleMania, but let's just say, obviously I was not happy about this match. You got the point. Congratulations to you on that one. That was a point for the Wenz, but this was a match that before that was actually very exciting. As much as I don't like Liv Morgan, I love that sunset flip from the top of the pod onto the floor. That was incredible. So there were some incredible spots in this, and I was impressed. The women did put on a good chamber match. It was good till the finish. That's all I feel. That's how I feel about it. But overall, the women did very well, and I hope that Raquel gets some type of push this year. Obviously, they have nothing planned for her for WrestleMania, but hopefully post WrestleMania, they do something with her because there's money to be made.
Maybe, I mean, honestly, she's so physical. Like, I had no idea because again, Booch is every week he reads the dirt sheets. He has a separate championship belt, right? So he's in it to win it. Let's bring it, right? Exactly. But I'm learning a lot about Raquel, and I'm learning a lot about these up and coming female superstars who, by the way, God bless them. And the reason I say that, well, for a number of reasons, but because WWE is so known for not using the women superstars in the right way, building characters the right way, building matches, building credible storylines. So hopefully they don't squander it. And if they do, she'll just go to AEW and thrive there. Maybe they're giving us enough to get that taste. It's like a tapas bar, not topless, Booch. Don't get your head out of there. A tapas bar where they give you just enough to where you're still hungry and you want to order more food.
Exactly.
But that's what they're giving us, which cool. Not too much too fast, right? They're just pushing other things down our throat, Cody Rhodes. But I digress there. Overall, great women's match. Way to kick off the show. The next match, I got a little something to say about how this one ended. And Booch, you also obviously do. I had my first take, Booch, and as the future champion, I defer to the current champion, and I acknowledge your opinion. Go ahead, sir, about Bobby Lashley defeating Brock Lesnar, but it was by disqualification, one of these jobs right between the thighs. And
yeah,
it's not okay. Like, it doesn't need to happen that way. And I don't understand it. Like, that's not Brock Lesnar. That's what I'm going to say to preface what I'm going to say later. But Booch, go ahead. You have the floor, sir.
Here's the thing. It's not necessarily the finish of this match that upsets me so much. It's what happened the following week and what's been happening in the coming weeks. Because I've said this before ad nauseum, and I've had people debate me on this. No one's been able to win yet. But I had said it a million times. This is a WrestleMania dream caliber match. It's been that way for a long, long, long time. People have been wanting to see these two lock up. And for some reason, they will not do this at WrestleMania. And it's stupid that a match like this with two top guys that everybody wants to see is being deprived as a WrestleMania match. So when this happened in Elimination Chamber, I already mentioned I wasn't happy about it. But when I saw the low blow, I actually felt relieved for a moment. Because I'm thinking, okay, they're ending this match with a low blow so we can go to Mania and they can have like a no disqualification, a fight pit, a something to finally settle this. No tricks, no trades, just beat the hell out of each other. And instead, we have Brock Lesnar versus Omos, which nobody wants to see. And you got Bobby Lashley and Bray Wyatt, which is the most forced storyline I've seen in a long time. It's stupid, it's pointless, and it's going to benefit nobody. Because either Bray Wyatt's going to take a L, which they don't want, obviously don't want him to do, or they're going to screw him over the way they screwed over LA Knight at the Rumble. And Lashley's going to take the L, which he don't need. And then what are you going to do with Bobby? Well, how's he going to recover? In fact, I think I've actually heard the reason Lesnar wanted to end it this way was because he didn't want to face Bray Wyatt, because he doesn't want to get involved in all this Uncle Howdy BS that he wants to do. Apparently, Lesnar doesn't want to waste his time with that. So they said the winner of this is going to go, well, we're going to go with Lashley, but I guess they weren't ready for Lashley to take an F5. Because that's what bothered me. If you weren't going to have this at WrestleMania, then you should have just ended it. Just F5, 1, 2, 3, or Bobby Lashley in the Hurt Locker. Lesnar passes out, because passing out doesn't hurt him, because he didn't tap, he didn't give up, but he passed out from the pain. Boom. Lashley wins. And then you can move on from this. Because, like I said, in the beginning, this was a WrestleMania dream match. The dream is now dead. You've now killed it. You had, because every match has ended in fuckery.
Yeah.
The Royal Rumble had the Paul Heyman turning on him. The Middle East, the Saudi Arabia show had the Hurt Locker push off the turnbuckle 1, 2, 3 pin, and now a low blow. You've clearly demonstrated that either A, you don't know how to book, or B, one of these men doesn't want to job properly to the other. So it's dead. It's done. Like, you've now killed any excitement this match can possibly bring. Knowing them, they might try to put it together at a future Saudi Arabia show. That's the only place you can put it now, because you killed a WrestleMania dream match and you killed it dead. And that's why I'm angry. The fact that this low blow led to nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to lead to something, Booch, and what it's going to lead to is a boost for Omos, right? I mean, there's no way that Omos loses this match. So, I mean, you already have my way too early prediction. He's going to win this match. It's going to be a brawl. It's going to be an all-out war, and he will win this match, because there's no reason for Brock Lesnar to win this match at Mania. Like, what are they doing by doing what they did at Elimination Chamber? What do they accomplish by the low blow, right? And then booking him to beat Omos at WrestleMania 39. It makes no sense. Like, literally, like linearly, like thinking about like, where do you go? Choose your own adventure, WWE. Where do you go from there if you book it this way? Which leads me to believe there's no way they mess it up that bad. And if they do, I mean, they've done it before, but
the question you have to ask is, where's Lesnar going from here? Are you building something? If he's not going anywhere, then he doesn't deserve the win. But if you have something planned for him down the road, that's different. So
here's what I think. This is what I think they're going to do, right? So you already know what I think about 39. He is going to be the guy who is in like serious brawls at pay-per-views. They're going to save him for the big moments, and they're going to be close matches that he's going to lose, but he's going to be like the bar, no pun intended. He will be the new bar to be measured by, because Brock Lesnar is beyond a Drew McIntyre. Like, if you beat Drew McIntyre, okay, cool. But if you beat Brock Lesnar and it looks believable, and you take an F5 from that man and get back up, which, by the way, you already know how I feel about finishers that aren't finishers.
Yes.
And I know the difference between a signature and a finisher, because I owned WWF No Mercy. Notice I didn't say WWE, because back in the day it was a federation. It was still a monopoly. It was a monopoly. It was a monopoly. But yeah, so they're going to do great things for Omos, and they're going to make Lesnar the new bar to be measured against for the heavyweights. Yeah, it was a great match. That, I mean, we saw Hurt Locks, we saw F5, like we saw a brutal match. It was a good match, and just the way it ended, I was just, what, man, come on. And then the way you summed it up, yeah, they're going nowhere fast with this. So that was crappy, but that's WWE sometimes. Edge and Beth got a big win against the Judgment Day, and they needed this, Booch. They needed it bad. And it was really good to see Dominik look scared and confused, not know what to do, brass knuckles and everything, doing what the Judgment Day does, right? The one moment I do want to talk about was the double power bomb that the ladies pulled off. And even the crowd acknowledged it. Like, it wasn't like one team was winning. It was like one member of each team was winning and the other member was not winning simultaneously. So that was a cool moment. But Edge got his retribution. Your thoughts on this one in particular?
It was done the right way. In that, like I said, it was Finn Balor was the one that got pinned when it was over. I don't know how I feel about them using FTR's finisher. I thought that was kind of weird. They used the Shatter Machine. As people know, that used to be, or the Revival for the WWE fans that don't watch AEW, that was their finisher. I do love the fact that Beth got her offense. Rhea didn't look weak at all. Because like they said, that was the key thing I was worried about. She could not take the pin or the submission if the Judgment Day was going to win, then Rhea needed to pin Beth. That way Rhea looks good, but Edge doesn't have to worry about him. The only thing I'm confused about is, why is this rivalry still going? Like, this should have been it. Why are we going to see Edge and Finn Balor do anything at WrestleMania? I think that's stupid. I don't know what Beth is doing now. Obviously, Rhea's moving on to Charlotte because that's where her goal is now. And they're still toying with Dominik and Ray. I don't know why we have to keep playing cat and mouse. Can the cat catch the mouse already and sign the match? More and more, I'm losing respect for Ray every week. I really am, because, and this is a pet peeve that I have, and I don't know, Wenz, maybe you can educate me on this because you're a parent. I'm not. But I cannot get over this thing where a kid constantly, either physically or verbally, disrespects their parent, and the parent doesn't lay to smackdown. I didn't grow up in that environment. If I did a third of the crap that Dominik did to Ray, to my dad, I would be in a wheelchair doing this episode. I would be like Stephen Hawking Jr. I am happy to be champion. Thank you for having me on your show. That would be my life if I did any of this to my father. I have friends with kids. I asked them if they were 18 and they did this, what would happen? They go, oh, they would die. I don't get it. You're a parent. Explain it to me. Make it make sense to me, because I don't get it.
Well, one thing is for sure, you don't want to go to prison.
Yes.
Right? Also, but beyond that, joking aside, there's something about when you experience the moment of life, like it changes everything when you become a parent. And we didn't this was not planned, y'all. This is not a propagated conversation we're having right now. This is what
I literally just threw this out there.
Yeah, this is great though. This is what the show's all about. No, thank you for doing that. But once you live in that moment, when you meet your kid for the first time, there's something, for the lack of a better term, magical about it. And you just know that you're in love. You're in love with that little creature, the little alien looking thing. Because people say, when you hear somebody say, oh, that baby is precious, that baby ugly, right? We didn't get the precious comment. We got the baby's cute, because our babies were cute. There were a couple when they first born, their faces all squinchy, so no babies are really cute when they first come out.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But yeah, and it's, by the way, we had 2 C-sections, right? So my buddies told me, they're like, hey, if there's a natural birth, they said, like Indiana Jones, don't look, Miriam, don't look, right? Because they said it'll change everything forever. It's like the forbidden fruit in the garden, right? Everything changes, right? Your eyes are opened in the wrong way. We did a movie where a person had that happen to them. I did a movie with that a while back, so I get that. But anyway, but once you but I looked over the curtain, because I got to see, like, literally her midsection open and they pull this child out. And it looks like it's like something out of an alien movie, right? Because you see it. I wanted to look. I was like, oh, over the curtain. And there's nothing like it. And I wouldn't take it back. And the
Yeah.
fact that you get to experience, you get to cut the cord and you get to hold the child and they put him under the lamp and they put the cream on the eyes and it's like a thing, right? And you're instantly skin to skin bonding, which sounds weird, like, oh, no, but it's like a legit oxytocin exchange and you experience bonding with your child.
Yeah, I
And
read an
you
article about that.
and you just there's a love. It's like a love that you would do and you would die for this child. Like you would do anything for this child. Like
Yeah.
even if you don't care. And the thing about it is I know people that are like I'm blessed in this way. Like I love my wife. Like we're it's amazing, but there are people that have kids that aren't in love. Like it happens and they still like man up and they take care of their kids because ultimately at the end of the day, like that's the ultimate thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But they still have this bond with their kid, right? And it's there. And for me, it was an instant bond. And then when we got home, there was like a lull because I couldn't find a way to, because it didn't need me like it needed the mother. Because to
Exactly.
get home from the hospital, there's a weird kind of like, okay, how do I help? What do I do? And it's more of like a, hey, clean the bottles, wake up in the mornings and help be there and clean out the bottles and get the milk from the fridge and help, bring the bottles back down and after they're done pumping. And it's like a thing, it's a process. And for the first year, it's like nonstop, right? And people are terrified by that, but there's an energy that comes alongside that you're just given as a parent because like God knows, because we're all his kids. He's like, I know what you need, I'll give it to you. And it comes in enough, just what you need, right? For that day. And some days are exhausting, but at the end of the day, you'll love that kid and you would never let harm come of that kid. So in this case, he's probably thinking beside the storyline, like, there's nothing I wouldn't do. And there's nothing also I wouldn't take from my son. Like, think about it like this, not to get too deep in one's world, but like, think about all the ways we slight not only our earthly parents, but our heavenly father. And think how much patience they have with us to not throw us off a bridge when we're nonstop crying incessantly, or when we're colicky, when we're infants and won't stop crying at 2 a.m. And we're like, I have to work in the morning. I have to sleep. I haven't slept in a week. Like, when you don't sleep, before you have kids, you sleep. You sleep. You think you don't. You think, oh, I can't sleep, but you don't know what no sleep is like until you have kids. Like, let me just say that. But you get used to it, and it terrifies people, right? But you find ways. You know that you'll love them, and you would never let harm become of them, and you would never inflict that harm. So there's a weird kind of lasting bond that human beings have with their kids that other species don't have. Like some dads will eat their kids, they'll abandon their kids, they'll like throw them to wherever. I don't know how we got there, but that's what we do.
I was just letting you roll. I didn't want to cut you off.
No. This is great. This is. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. But no. So there's also what I was getting at here, Booch. Is there's also nothing that my kids could do to me that I couldn't forgive them for. Like there's nothing they couldn't say, like they could say or say, like I hear my son, he's 6 and he's like, I hate you. Like he the other day he said to me like, I wish you would die. This is like real talk in one's world. Like, and I was just like, wow, like he was really angry because I didn't give him what he wanted. It was a moment where I had to draw the line in the sand. He was out of line. It was just a moment where if I had given in that moment, he would be one of those human beings that are miserable to be around.
Yeah.
Right. So you know what I mean? You can't give a kid ice cream all the time. Sometimes. And sometimes you have to say no, just so they hear no. So they understand not everything is a yes.
Exactly.
And I also teach him how to bargain. And I teach him how to learn, how to construct a conversation, how to get what he wants, but not by manipulating, but by listening and by being an active participant and listener in the conversation. So Ray's probably thinking, I love my boy. He's going through a transition. He's going through a phase, but there's nothing I wouldn't do. I could be attacked in my home and during the holidays. I can be maliciously slandered, libeled, and bounce back, because there's nothing that a parent's love can't do. And this is a great illustration. I mean, look at the McMahon family.
Yeah.
Look at all the quarrelings and any of the factions, because they're considered family. NWO, stuff like that. You want to go that deep, but yeah. So that, to answer your question, once you have kids, man, that there's something that happens that just changes you forever, and there's nothing that, I don't know.
Couldn't have asked for a better answer. Like you just sold me. Thank you. Now I can. I'm actually better understanding this storyline. You just did in a few minutes what WWE was trying to do for like half the year. Like literally, you just sold me on, because I'm literally sitting here going, this looks stupid, and you just brought logic to this storyline. So there you go. Bravo.
Thank you.
You did it.
I
You
didn't know
sold
if
me.
it made
I'm
sense.
sold.
I'm glad it made sense. It sounded like bumbling nonsense to me, but I'm glad it made sense.
No,
to you.
I was following you. I was just like, this is making sense to me. And I figured if someone could make sense to me, it had to be you, because you're the parent on the show. So I figured he could explain this. But I'm just saying, overall, like, love the match, but I just don't like the fact that this didn't end it. Because I feel like if Edge is going to continue to feud with the Judgment Day, let's throw in Damian Priest at least. Give them one-on-one, because Finn just took a finisher from a guy and a chick. Why am I supposed to believe this one-on-one match is going to be badass? You just took a shatter machine from Edge and Beth Phoenix. It should have ended right there. Why is this continuing? Like, let's throw in Damian Priest to really end it.
So as we sit here and talk about the undying love for a father and a son, we also have to talk about the match that they're going to have.
Oh, yeah.
At WrestleMania. And we knew this was going to happen, right? But when you talk about the storyline leading up to it, we all knew they were going to book it this way. I would never fight my son in a match. They're going to book it this way, but
like I said, I think there's going to be a final straw. That's why I'm thinking that with the way they're doing this, Dominik has to cross some type of unforgivable line, because so far he hasn't. What's he done? Ripped the mask. He's done that like once or twice. If the mask isn't enough to get Rey in that ring, Dominik has to do something very sinister and unforgiving. Like, I hate to say this, because I know this is a soft spot for the Wenz, but I can't think of anything else. If you have a better idea, feel free to pitch it to me. But I'm thinking the mom and the daughter and the sister got to get involved somehow.
They've already been involved. It makes sense.
Well, they were there as far as like verbally, but I'm talking like his sister tries to reason with him, and Dominik like shoves his sister or something, and Rey's finally like, that's it. Not because I can't think of anything else that would trigger Rey at this point, because he's done everything. He even went as far as he was about to quit WWE, but Triple H talked him out of it and said, hey, I'll put you exclusively on SmackDown so you don't have to see Dominik anymore. And for a while that worked, because it was a good way to keep the two of them separate, because they wanted to drop, because they knew in the back of their minds, we want this for WrestleMania. So what's the best way than to put them on a separate brand? But now that it's WrestleMania time and everything's kind of intertwining with Rhea going after Charlotte and Dominik following mommy wherever she goes, it was only a matter of time for him and Rey locked up again. So now Rey realizes, I can't get away from this. And now something unforgivable has to happen to lock that in for WrestleMania. Otherwise, what else could be the breaking point if he hasn't been broken by now?
Yeah, it's going to happen. It has to happen. It has to happen at Mania if it's going to happen.
It does.
And if they don't pull the trigger, okay, but don't pull it after Mania, right?
Yeah.
But we got to move on for time's sake.
Yeah,
Theory wins. And again, we're going to see him against John Cena. Let's jump straight to that, okay?
Sure.
It's going to be an interesting match. They're booking it as he's my childhood hero. I get to fight him. Initially Cena was challenged. I don't like the way it happened on Raw. And Booch, I don't know if you've seen it. Did you see the segment?
I saw the segment, yes.
Okay. So the way it was booked made Cena out to be like a judgment of character, a judgment of heart. But the way he positions himself on the socials is a judgment-free zone. I can't understand how a guy who talks about all this and
Twitter and only follows people who only tweet super positive things about other people, how they book him this way. I'm not saying that was his choice. I'm saying WWE is writing his lines for him, but it doesn't make sense, right? Because that's disrespectful, first of all, and it's disloyal to a kid who joined the craft just because of him. Like that doesn't show any tribal mentality that WWE is based upon. So if the three eyes were involved, lots of intensity, no integrity, and very little intelligence by John Cena. And also, I get why he could initially say no, but I think the reason could have been different. It could have been, hey, man, I didn't come out here to have a match at Mania. I just came out here to say thank you and be present here in Boston, because that's a spot, right? I like Austin Theory. And I know that a lot of people don't, because he was Vince's boy before Vince got escorted out of the building. And I also understand that point of view. But let's be honest, he is a good competitor. He's a nasty competitor because that's the way he's booked. But if he was booked as a straight up wrestler, he could handle it. And I think that he's undersold. And I think he is an absolute blessing on the microphone for WWE. And let's not understate the value and importance of somebody that can cut a good promo. He's the man. And I see it from the perspective of, why not put him against John Cena? I just don't like the way they did it. You know, the head, the heart, and then the cup check and all that. And I think it's ironic that Cena is going there, considering what The Rock did to him at Mania a few years ago with the whole Fruity Pebbles bit.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting. And I think if Austin Theory were smart, he would go there and be like, hey, Cena, it's interesting. I was watching some tape, and I kind of remember, since we're going to Hollywood for WrestleMania 39, I vaguely remember The Rock talking about your
I think this is going to be Theory's opportunity to really fire up and show who he is, because Austin Theory, as talented as he is, his push with Vince before Vince left, I mean, now he's the chairman, but he's not involved in creative anymore. It was unexpected and out of nowhere. Like, people thought they were trying to push Austin Theory to this spot in the beginning, but then once Vince kind of went away, that Austin Theory push didn't really do too much. Now, granted, as United States champion, he's doing very well, but
he's doing great. Yeah.
But Cena's whole point was, this is a level you're not ready for. Like, John's looking at him like, I know you want to face me,
but he hasn't been in the ring in how long? Like, that's crazy. That's absurd to say. That's absurd for John Cena to sit here and insinuate that a man who's been in the ring week in and week out isn't ready for Captain Baldylocks back here. Like, no, I can't believe it. I can't stop.
Well, the reason is because, you gotta understand, Cena has over 20 plus years experience in the business. From a storyline standpoint, I get it. I just get what Cena's trying to convey. He's saying that you're not being your genuine self.
But what does that mean?
He feels.
I don't know what that means.
He feels like that. He feels like his gimmick is forced. He's like, he acts badass, but you're not really badass. You think you're on this top level. You ain't even close. And Cena's trying to say, this is the level I'm at. You think you're already there, and you haven't even scratched the surface. And you're going to realize that when you face me at WrestleMania. So one of two things is going to happen. Either Cena is going to beat Austin Theory, thus proving he's not ready yet, or B, Austin Theory is going to beat John Cena and prove that he is on his way to being that level. Now, Cena has accomplished so much in the WWE. He has a spot that's not easy to reach. It's a Hogan, Austin level spot that is hard to get to. And Austin Theory now has to prove that, because the whole thing is, with Vince out of the way, Theory has to prove that I'm not just a pet project from Vince McMahon. I can actually do this. I can be a main event player. I can be a top guy. Austin Theory still has something to prove. And Cena's looking at him like, you're not ready. Theory claims he is ready, brought the fans into it, and put Cena in a situation where Now I have to say yes, and you just made the biggest mistake of your life. So
Yeah.
Cena has to say that to sell the tickets and make the point.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, now you, as us watching the show, we know this is going to be a great match. We all want to see this match.
Yeah. I can't wait to see this match. Yeah.
But also you understand Theory's a heel. So Cena, as the clear babyface, he can't just sit there and go, oh, this is a dream match to work with. He might say that off camera, but when he's in the ring trying to sell tickets, his ticket selling is like, dude, you're not ready. You ain't on this level. You are me getting in the ring with you. I'm trying to save your ass from being embarrassed because you're not ready to face me. I am on a top tier level. I've been in the ring with top guys. I've beaten top guys. You grew up watching me on TV. There's other guys you grew up watching on TV, and I've beaten them 1, 2, 3 in the middle of this ring.
Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying.
Guys you consider icons,
yeah.
I have their phone number. We talk like we're brothers now. So you are not on this level to where you can face me, but Theory claims he is. So Cena's like, well, we're going to find out together.
All I'm saying, and I agree with everything you said. I was trying to get a word in edgewise there, but Booch is on a roll. No, it's okay. What I was trying to say was, I just think that Austin Theory doesn't get the respect he deserves. And I think that we're going to see a whole new level of respect deserved after 39, because here's the deal. Like, if they book it to have Austin Theory lose this match, what do they gain? Is John Cena really going to be the United States champion? Think about that for a minute before you are rooting against Austin Theory because you hate him, because this is why people hate Austin Theory. He hits a chord in them because they know they didn't put the time and effort to look the way that he does, to be where he is. Because let's be honest, he is a good-looking guy. That's not to his credit. That's like, hey, some people are born with a look. Some people, got to wear makeup. That's the way it is. Like some guys are born with a Cadillac. Some guys are born with a Pinto. It's just the way it goes. And what he's saying is like, hey, I got here. I'm good looking, but I'm also talented. And I think what people are saying is, you're good looking, but you're not talented. And what I am saying, and I know what you're saying, Booch, is he is both. The way he's booked is as a heel. Of course, he has to come out as a prima donna and, with the cell phone, the selfie, A-Town Down. Like, that's the whole thing. That's a shtick. But if he were to come out as like, I'm going to come in the ring and beat your, what? He could do that. And it would be believable because he comes out with this ruthless aggression in the ring sometimes. And he does show this, like, other theory. Like, one of Cena's punchlines was, that's all you are, man. You're just a theory. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, you use his name against him. You have the greatest name in WWE. And I'm like, okay. But, like, the theory is strong. It's not a law, Austin law. Like, that doesn't make any sense. He doesn't have the lawyer shtick,
Exactly.
I just think that, like, he doesn't get the respect he deserves, and he's going to get it after Mania. And I think that Cena is going to be humbled at Mania. Watch. Something is going to happen to where that moment that happened on Raw that was uber embarrassing for Austin Theory. Do you think he knew what was going to happen in that ring?
Probably not, because Cena does go over a few things with other people when he's doing segments.
That's something you probably want to go over, right?
But I look at it like this. There's a lot of people. This is not the first time Cena has savagely destroyed somebody on the mic and embarrassed them. I mean, Roman Reigns had one of the most embarrassing moments ever, to the point where it was so controversial, WWE put the uncut version on YouTube, which they rarely ever do. They put the full uncut. This is back when they had that No Mercy match many years ago. Cena, for Roman, it was embarrassing. It was one of the most saddest moments of his life. Where is he today? The tribal chief, the head of the table, Mike skills unfathomable.
Yep.
AJ Styles, when they feuded. Cena took AJ to school verbally because those were skills that were not in his repertoire. He was not known for being a promo. He was known mostly for his wrestling. How much better has he been at promos over the last couple of years?
So what you're saying is Cena takes you to the woodshed and makes you become better on the fly, improv.
Yes, he tears you down to build you up. It toughens you. So if Austin Theory's truly going to be the guy, this is a promo we're going to look at years from now. And let's give it a couple of years, see how much better he is on the mic, how much better he is in the ring, and see if this isn't the moment that lit the fire under his ass and toughened him up.
When Cena said, "Hey, and you really need to get better at that last bit,"
Yeah,
I was just like, "Oh," I was just like, why you guys do that to the guy? I was like, why you got? And Theory was. That's why I asked you, Booch. I was like, do you think he knew? Because the camera guy went right to him, and his face was like,
well, he probably wasn't expecting it. But I'm sure it was like a what the F moment, but it gets, but it was a good moment for the crowd. And we said, how like Monday on how's Theory going to respond?
Okay.
What is he going to do leading up? How is he going to change it?
Oh, we're going to talk about that, but I want to get to, because we're running out of time. The producer, aka my family, who's hungry for dinner, is like, "Hey, wrap it up." Right. So we'll get to Mania previews, but I want to get to this before, real quick. Roman Reigns defeated Sami Zayn. We both knew it was going to happen. It was a freaking awesome match. It could have gone either way so many times. Like I was so satisfied. Use that word at the beginning. And I love that when we're watching matches, because you just feel like, oh, it's so worth the price of Peacock. Thank you.
It was beautiful. It was a work of art.
Yep.
It was exactly what it needed to be. Mm-hmm. The pacing was perfect.
Yep.
The battles were perfect. The psychology, including his wife, and both of them involving the wife, whether it was Sami kissing his wife or Roman taunting his wife while he's beating the hell out of him. It was old school. It was fantastic. Everything involved, including even the finish, was perfect. There were times in this match you thought Sami was going to walk out with that title. They had that crowd in the palm of their hand. Yep. And here's what was perfect. Roman hits the 1, 2, 3, and a crowd that was raucous throughout the whole thing. 5 minutes went by. They hadn't even touched each other yet, and that crowd was going off their feet. That's old school AWA type of stuff you see there, like from territory days.
Yeah.
And then 1, 2, 3, silence. It was perfect. Yep. Sami didn't walk out with a title. This was not his time to be champion, but this establishes Sami as one of the top baby faces in the company. He is now a main event player. There is no denying Sami Zayn is a main event player after this. And I promise you, by the end of this year, that title is going to be around his waist. It's coming. It's not going to happen at WrestleMania. Now is not the time, but the time is coming. Sami has earned it.
Wait, did you just say the time is now? You can't see me.
I said the time is coming, not the time is now. Time is not now. It's not.
Dude,
now.
that's kind of a hot take. I'm gonna go out on a limb here, Booch. I'm gonna say the fact that you just said, and let's remember to comment on that on YouTube. What do you guys think about that? If you made it this far into the show, you're a real fan. So if you've heard that, do you actually think that Sami Zayn is gonna be a champion, to undisputed universal champion? That's what you're saying.
I think I don't know if Cody's reigns. I don't know how long Cody's gonna last with the belt, but I got a feeling when he does drop it, it will be to Sami. I think Sami's next in line. But
I mean, he's deserved. He's deserved.
Yes.
I mean, there's no question.
Obviously they're going to go a different route with Sami, because they've shown over the last couple of weeks, it's going to be, as I predicted, him and Kevin and the Usos for the tag belts, which is where they need to go. Plus, Sami and Kevin have dreamed about being tag team champions at WrestleMania. So it's not like Sami sees it as a step down. And it's perfect. Everything is going perfectly. And here's what makes it great. Before you go on your rant, I'll iterate this. Mm-hmm. The reason I know it works is because in the last couple weeks, no one is booing Cody. They're still emotionally invested in Cody versus Roman. This isn't like before where they were going another direction and the crowd was just shitting all over it. they found a way to keep everybody happy, which is almost damn near impossible. But Triple H managed to pull it off. Now you can say what you want to say.
Thank you. It's not necessary. You don't need to have the hand shandy at the top of the ramp. And that's exactly what we had. We had the hand shandy man can at the top of the ramp on Monday Night Raw between Cody Rhodes and John Cena. You saw it. I saw it. Everybody saw it. It was a moment, Booch. It was these two guys. It was manufactured. It was nonsense. It was extra, as the kids would say.
Okay.
Not on fleek. It was like, hey, let me sell this moment more. Here's a guy that really deserves to be at WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes. The American Nightmare, everybody. Not necessary. And it just further proves my point that it's too soon for Cody Rhodes. They're having to do this extra stuff to be extra, to prove to us, oh yeah, well, John Cena said it, so I guess I should believe it. I guess they got me. Cena okay, I believe, because Cena said I shouldn't believe in Austin Theory, because Cena said I don't believe, right? So Cena tells me what I believe, right? So Cena's like the greatest of all time, right? That's what they're trying to do right now. Do you not see that? Everybody watching that, if you made it this far, you know what I'm talking about. That's what they're trying to do to you people. They're trying to make you feel like John Cena speaks for you. He doesn't. Do you have a bald spot in the back of your head? If you do, cool. If you don't, cool. But he doesn't speak for you. I mean,
I don't have a spot. It's just the whole thing. I got the whole thing. So
you should do it without the hat, Booch. You should do it without the hat. We should do an episode without the hat. I'll tell you what. How about this?
Fine.
How about a Mania? How about if I win? Oh, you already did it. There's no interest. He's willing to do it. There's no build up. You just did what the WWE does. They just give us what we want immediately, and then the first one that tweets, I want Cody Rhodes to be the champion. Oh, let's book him. Hey, we had the first person that replied to the tweet. We got to make it.
I'm just saying, it's not like it's no secret I'm bald. I mean, the regular guys got me to shave it in 2011. What do I got to hide now? This is mostly for the lamp, so there's no glare.
Isn't your Twitter picture with hair?
Yes, that's that. Well, no, my Twitter picture. Does my Twitter picture have hair? I don't remember. Yeah, well, that was because I had a like a little like one of those like graph things on Facebook, so I moved it to Twitter. So it's me in like the glasses and the jacket, like a Terminator type of look.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
it works for you.
And then but the image I had on there was like "Go vote" or something. So that's why on Facebook it has that, because anytime I put a graphic on, I put that look because it just looks good.
Gotcha. It does. It looks great. I believe that you could be, if they redid that movie with a very like $100 budget, you would be the Terminator.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I digress. One thing, Booch, that I will never fail to mention is have a nice day.
And I'll never fail to mention bang bang.